Much the way the whole workshop is going to be going, where I'm going to be sort of starting into the principle, explain it a little bit, but then we're going to be doing exercises and drills on really how to practice the principles, learn the principles, refine the principles, and I'll continue to explain the principle as we're doing this. One great exercise, and who can I use? So Rick is busy. Elias. Okay? You can practice it on your own by moving the blow and stopping and feeling your balance. And then return, stop and feel your balance. Feel the blow, stop and feel your balance. Okay? And you start doing this at faster speeds. And it's great to do it with Pel, but you can also do it with a partner when they you basically take turns. So you're going to be the Pel, and what you do is you hold your sword out for a target. Okay? And probably best to, not be knocking it off the side like that. To prevent me from knocking it off the side like that, just turn it sideways so I'm actually going into the space of there. That'll give you a lot more control of the weapon, so it's not being knocked around quite as much. So the blade will be knocked around. Less stress on your wrist. Okay? And feel free to move your sword into the blow as I'm making contact to give you more support. Okay, for your end. But for my end, basically I have a target. Okay? So I want to stand right at a good spot for it, but then a little bit further away, because that's where the temptation all of a sudden is to start overreaching, leaning. Okay? And so I'm going to move my weight forward slightly, and you can see that I'm just coming slightly forward on my forward foot. You can't see it free to move around. But as I'm moving forward slightly, I'm not moving my feet at all, but I'm gaining myself. Physically, it looks like a couple extra inches. Actually, point of fact, go ahead and hold the sword there, right there, and then the forward motion right there is twice that. It's like more like 4 to 6 inches that you're actually gaining of sword getting into the target. Because I'm also, as I move forward with this, I'm also allowing my back hip to move, okay, which is the normal way to throw the blow, pushing off the back foot, forward hip comes forward, so I'm gaining more target. So this is, I'm gaining more distance onto my target without actually stepping. Okay? And of course, the added thing is to get completely out of range and step into the blow. Okay? Which we can also practice as an extension. The main idea is to try and practice your balance, and you're going to feel off balance when you hit and stop. You're going to just feel that weight coming forward when you do it wrong. You're moving with your shoulders. But if you do it correctly, okay, you stop, and I just need to feel firm, secure. Feel there's no loss of balance whatsoever. Do a quick return. You need to be a quick return, because if you do, when you do the quick return, if you're doing it poorly as far as maintaining your balance, throwing your shoulders back too much without foot movement, then you feel, okay, falling off balance. Okay? So essentially you're practicing good form here, maintaining your balance. Good balance. Good balance, good balance. Okay? So let's go ahead and find a partner and practice this. And the way to gauge it, again, is to get up there and be almost in line and then up where you're just getting about an inch or two of leg. Okay? And then you're going to want to throw your weight forward slightly from your center to hit. Okay? We're feeling some added issues as far as maintaining your balance. And a good question that I will talk about. When you're doing this, I really want that pause to really kind of extend, really stop it, feel it, analyze it. Okay? Also, when you're moving back, stop, analyze. Because it's at that moment that if you stop, you need to be balanced to be able to stay still. If you're throwing it, kind of a slight hesitation, there's a lot of little balance issues that can happen there that you're going to hide by just kind of flowing through. Okay? But right there, I can feel it. Where's my balance? Okay? If I do it and my balance is off, I can analyze, well, what's the problem? Are my shoulders too far forward? When I move forward, am I still having a forward movement, which usually happens when you're stepping and you're not planting your foot down, but as you step, you're kind of sliding it forward. So it's hard for you to kind of move forward and then stop successfully. Most people that do that in a fight, they have that forward feeling and then they kind of throw all their weight back to keep the balance, to keep the forward motion stopping. You see a lot of people do that as they're charging someone, and then their opponent stops, and they kind of stumble into them because they have a hard time keeping forward momentum from pushing them into their opponent. A lot of times when you analyze it, you might find you stepped wrong. So I stepped on kind of the outside of my foot, and it's making me want to roll to the side. So it's almost like my foot's kind of rolling. I have to adjust my feet to get my balance back. Good question I had over here is kind of movement back of proper technique to maintain your balance. You want to push off the forward foot now. You're pushing off the trailing foot from the direction you're going. So I'm pushing off this foot to move back. Okay, if you're not doing that, what you're winding up doing is maybe lifting this foot to step back. So it's going to be harder to maintain your balance. Or you're starting to fall back and then dragging your feet after you. And you're going to lose your balance that way. But you're not going to feel it unless right here I stop. Where's my balance? Okay? Some people will find that when they return really quickly, maybe they're letting the sword go way out. It's pulling, the momentum of the sword is pulling them off balance. They're having to throw their weight around to get the sword back into control. And so that's an issue of having a tighter return where the sword's not throwing you off balance.
You know, if you're on balance, you don't use
How would you know?
I felt strong there.
When you try and hold it, you're going to feel it right here. The longer you hold it, the more you're going to feel the balance is there. Okay? And if you're feeling like, I feel unbalanced, as you said, try holding it longer to really feel it. And hold it even longer. And if it's still there, everything's good. All right? Okay? I'll keep it here. Okay, here's one more great exercise to do, either with your human pell, or in your backyard, and that's to throw blows on one leg. Okay? And it's just an experiment again to really try and feel your balance, because as you're moving, you want to be able to sink your center. Okay? So everybody try this. Okay? It's going to be a little bit harder. Don't feel like you need to throw the blow as hard, but essentially you're standing on one foot, motion with your sword, feel your balance. Okay? If you're the foot itself is moving around, you got the best to not move it at all, because moving around is going to compensate for you being off balance. Okay? So when you have it up and you throw, you want to kind of stand. Okay? I was throwing it and get myself off here. Balance. I throw it out here.
He's doing it. He says he's throwing it, he's going like that with his foot. That's keeping it balanced. Was I doing that?
Which, you know, I was talking to someone else about it. Sometimes that compensation is good, especially when you're throwing yourself off balance on purpose to get sort of a surprise, extra reach, and you know it's kind of a dangerous situation. You're purposely moving yourself slightly off balance to gain an advantage, but you compensate for it. But that's a case where you're doing it on purpose. It's an intended decision in the fight, rather than just being off balance because you just don't know any better. haven't felt your balance.
You use the one foot handles. I just want to see where things start.
Okay. Just coming up here, feel the weight down. Okay. When you lift up your foot, start off by just letting your center go down, just like at the beginning when we were kind of like standing on one foot. As soon as you feel the center down, then you turn like this. Okay.
It's never because I have a little harder time with my start shoulders and the hips trail, and I find that when the hips forward, it's easier to, like the hips go with the shoulder or even start forward, it's easier to balance.
And of course, I'm not recommending fighting on one foot, but it's really just kind of an extended exercise of standing on one foot, but throwing in some sword movement, so you got movement in there. And the harder you throw, the more kind of variety of blows you throw, probably the more balance you're going to lose. But it's really just an exercise to kind of find that balance. You'll find that getting yourself off balance and refinding your balance is a great exercise to discover where your center really is.
I have a question.
Yes.
I know some of this exercise, some people are doing crossbody, some people are doing the same side.
For the blows for your balance?
Yeah.
That really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're fighting with your sword leg forward or your shield leg forward, whether you're fighting left-handed or right-handed against someone that's left-handed or the same hand. The important thing is the movement itself and feeling as your balance down.